The Setiabudi 13 case is an unsolved mutilation murder case of an unknown man discovered on November 23, 1981. Due to the extreme violence and uncertainty in this case is considered the first mutilation case in the history of modern crime in Indonesia, one of the most horrific cases and one of the most mysterious cases in Indonesia. Because 13 mutilated bodies were found in the Jalan Jenderal Sudirman area, Setiabudi, South Jakarta. This case began in the morning of November 23, 1981, when there were two security officers working at PT Garuda Mataram Motor saw two boxes lying on the sidewalk of Jenderal Sudirman, Setiabudi. When approached by these two officers, they smelled an unpleasant odor coming from the two boxes, then chose to report the strange items to the police, who happened to be nearby on duty. Unfortunately, the police did not follow up on this report, because it was not without reason that the police were on duty to regulate traffic, which was busy at that time. As a result, the report was forgotten and I didn't have time to check the two boxes. Until that time, the two boxes were found by scavengers who were scavenging rubbish in the area. Without thinking, the scavenger immediately opened the two boxes and was shocked to find that one of the boxes contained pieces of flesh and several organs. And the other box contained pieces of bones along with a head and hands that were sticking up. Long story short, Dr. Abdul Munim Idris, SP.F., the forensic expert who performed the autopsy on the body at that time, said that the case was the most brutal, cruel and haunting case he had ever handled. According to him, this terrible case is very disturbing, because even though there are many forensic clues, the victim's fingerprints and face are still quite intact and should be able to be identified. But the police have not been able to reveal the victim's identity. In general, the perpetrator of the murder will dismember the victim as a way to eliminate the victim's identity. So, the crimes committed cannot be known by other people, usually by removing the head to prevent visual recognition of the victim as well as the feet and hands, to obscure fingerprint patterns. Many perpetrators also end up choosing to destroy the body parts so they can no longer be recognized. However, in this case, part of the victim's body, which is usually removed or disappeared by the perpetrator, actually remained intact. Everything seems intentional and unintentional, as if the perpetrator wanted to challenge. And what is even more shocking is that in this case it is alleged that the perpetrator carried out this act in only 3 to 4 hours and around the 21st of November 1981. The perpetrator carried out this heinous act by separating the flesh from the victim's bones very cleanly. And there were 3 parts of the victim's body organs missing or not found at the scene of the crime. And we can conclude that the perpetrator of this mutilation was not just anyone, or we could even say someone who was an expert in their field. And in this case it could not have been carried out by just one perpetrator. In this case, the police immediately made a sketch of the victim's face and fingerprints to be distributed widely so that they could find several family members who felt they had lost their family members. However, until now there has been no information regarding the victim's identity. No family, relatives or colleagues ever came to see or claim to know the victim. Even though all clues from the fingerprints and face are still intact, the victim's identity has not been revealed until now. What is clear is that at the time of the incident, there was no CCTV, and technology was still not as advanced as it is now. And the Setiabudi 13 case has had a huge impact on people out there.